what would it really mean for your retirement, your savings, and your monthly bills if the United States economy suddenly started growing at 15% a year? That is the bold vision being discussed right now, and it has certainly captured national attention. President Trump has stated that he believes the U.S. economy could reach an astonishing 15% annual growth rate under the right leadership and policies. For many Americans, that number sounds exciting. For others, it raises serious questions. I'm Sarah, and today I want to calmly walk through what this could mean, what would have to happen for something like this to occur, and how it might affect everyday Americans, especially seniors who depend on steady income and financial stability. To begin with, it helps to understand what normal growth looks like. In most years, the U.S. economy grows at about 2 to 3%. When growth reaches 4 or even 5%, economists typically consider that very strong. 15% would be far beyond anything the country has experienced in modern history. So when a president speaks about 15% growth, it signals a desire for dramatic change. It suggests a push for aggressive economic expansion, not small adjustments. According to recent remarks, President Trump has linked this goal to leadership at the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve plays a powerful role in the economy. It sets interest rates, influences borrowing costs, and manages the flow of money throughout the financial system. If interest rates are lowered significantly, borrowing becomes cheaper for businesses and consumers. That can encourage spending, investment, and hiring. For growth to even approach double digits, interest rates would likely need to fall quickly and substantially. Cheaper loans can help businesses expand. Families may feel more comfortable purchasing homes or vehicles. Investors may take on more projects. However, there is always a balance. Extremely low interest rates can also increase inflation. Many seniors remember the recent period of rising prices. When inflation climbs too quickly, the cost of groceries, utilities, and healthcare can rise faster than incomes. For those on fixed incomes, that can create real pressure. Beyond interest rates, another factor would likely be government stimulus. In past years, stimulus payments were used to boost consumer spending during difficult economic periods. When money is sent directly to households, spending often increases quickly. That can temporarily lift economic activity. There has been discussion of potential new economic measures, including ideas related to tariffs and possible returns of funds to American households. At this point, nothing has been officially approved. But if policymakers were serious about pursuing very high growth targets, some form of fiscal expansion could be part of the conversation. Large stimulus programs, however, come with trade-offs. Government spending typically increases the national debt. The United States already carries significant debt, and additional borrowing would add to that total. While debt does not cause immediate harm on its own, it is a long-term issue that leaders must manage carefully. Another important factor is the global economy. The United States does not operate in isolation. American companies depend on international trade and foreign demand for goods and services. For extremely high growth to continue, global conditions would need to remain stable. Energy prices would need to stay manageable. Supply chains would need to function smoothly. Trade relationships would need to avoid major disruptions. Even if domestic policies change, international events can influence outcomes in ways no president fully controls. There's also growing discussion about technology and productivity. Some analysts believe that rapid advances in artificial intelligence and automation could increase productivity. When workers and businesses produce more efficiently, the economy can grow faster. But technology brings its own adjustments. While it can boost output, it can also shift jobs and require workers to retrain. Growth driven by technology may not benefit everyone equally. It can reward companies and investors strongly, while certain workers face transitions. This leads to a very important question for seniors. Who benefits most from rapid economic expansion? Historically, strong growth tends to lift stock markets and increase asset values. Homeowners may see property values rise. Investors may experience portfolio gains. Business owners may enjoy higher profits. However, when growth comes with inflation, the situation becomes more complicated. If prices rise faster than Social Security adjustments, retirees may feel the strain. Cost of living adjustments are designed to help, but they are based on specific inflation measures and may not always match every household's experience. That is why discussions about explosive growth should always be viewed carefully. Growth can bring opportunity. It can create jobs for younger family members. It can strengthen government revenues, but it can also create higher prices and increased volatility. Most economists currently view 15% annual growth as highly unlikely under normal conditions. Even after major recessions, short-term spikes rarely approach that level, and they do not typically last. More realistic projections from many analysts suggest that strong growth might fall in the 4 to 6% range during favorable periods. That would still be considered very robust by historical standards. So, what does this moment really signal? It signals that policymakers may pursue a more aggressive growth strategy. It suggests that interest rate policy, fiscal policy, and economic leadership could shift direction if new appointments are confirmed and legislation is passed. But as of now, these remain goals and discussions. No policy guarantees have been announced. No growth targets have been officially achieved. Economic outcomes depend on many moving parts working together. For seniors watching these developments, the best approach is steady awareness rather than alarm or excitement. Pay attention to Federal Reserve decisions. Watch inflation reports. Monitor announcements from Congress regarding taxes or spending programs. Those concrete actions will matter far more than headline numbers. It is also wise to remember that rapid economic change can bring both opportunity and risk. Maintaining diversified savings, reviewing budgets carefully, and staying informed about Social Security updates can help provide stability during uncertain times. The idea of 15% growth certainly makes headlines. It reflects a desire for bold economic expansion, but the real question is not whether the number sounds impressive. The real question is whether any proposed policies support long-term stability, manageable inflation, and sustainable prosperity. As of now, the future path remains uncertain. What we do know is the conversations about faster growth are gaining momentum. Over the coming months, decisions made by the Federal Reserve and Congress will offer clearer signals about where the economy may be heading. For now, it is important to stay calm, stay informed, and focus on the fundamentals that protect your household finances. Economic cycles come and go, policies change, but careful planning and steady awareness remain the strongest tools for protecting your retirement and your peace of mind. I will continue to follow these developments closely and bring you updates as new information becomes available.